Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Shalise. I'm a mother, wife, and worker bee. I'll be 41 in September of this year, and my husband and I are trying to get to financial freedom. So I'm documenting our journey here. So please do not blindly follow me. I'm not a financial advisor or a fiduciary. Or anything like that. I'm a regular investor, okay? I'm in these trenches when the market is good, when the market is bad, and when the market is ugly, like it is right now. So if you are looking for some motivation, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And to all of my returning investy besties, thank you so much. Sending major air hugs to all of y'all. So I found a great article from Merrill, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's always important to come on with an article every now and then and just give you guys some insight into the way my husband and I are processing this down market and just keep us encouraged as we sit in the mud together because that's what we're doing, right? We're sitting in the mud together. But before I move on, make sure you beware of scammers, fake pages. You guys know, you've been on YouTube. There's scammers, bots, fake channels, whatever. I am only on Instagram and YouTube. Report anything else you see. It's crazy out here, but we're going to get back into the investing video. We're going to continue to just hold our positions and focus on the goal, okay? So 7 tips for dealing with a down market, and not even just down, but prolonged. And I love this article because it emphasized that it may not bounce back as fast as we all are thinking. Sometimes we'll have red days and we're expecting, okay, for it to kind of bounce back off the lows and just have, abundance of green days. But, there is something called the lost decade in the stock market. You can have years where the market is flat and you may not have a whole lot of growth. And if we are in a prolonged bear market or a prolonged downturn, how do we stay motivated? How do we stay connected while experiencing, feelings in real time? Because we're all a human. I mean, yeah, we can focus on long term. Let me tell you something. My husband and I have over 600,000 invested between our retirement accounts and a taxable account. So I get it, right? We can invest long term. Yes, it works. But in real time, we all work hard for our money. It does suck when you see the market down extendedly. And so, we are working through our emotions while staying focused on the goal. Okay. And that's one of the things we talk about often in my private dividend groups where I can expound more. We meet for 2 hours. We do have a drink and some snacks, and we just hang out on a Friday night. Our next session is this end of April. So if you want to sign up, my website is down below. You can sign up there. But how do we stay motivated, right? And not, succumb to fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And what can we do on the back end with our savings and budgeting and all of that to make sure that, yes, we're focused on our future, but we're also protecting ourselves here and now, okay? So 7 ways we can deal with this because this article was really motivating to me. And I love how it talks about, a bear market right here is when major US stock indices like the S&P 500 fall by 20% or more from their peak, okay? And remember, there have been 20, I love how they pointed this out. There have been more than 21 bear markets in the S&P 500 since 1928, and they usually last a year. So if you can hold on, you trust, you believe in the companies, you research, like we all know Amazon. I mean, let's be honest. Amazon may be falling, but really, how many of us have packages? Like I have packages coming this weekend from Amazon. So I know that people like me are going to keep Amazon in business. That's just being real, right? And so, it's if as an owner of Amazon, because we are through funds and individually, I know through research and just our belief in the company that Amazon is not going anywhere. So that is what motivates us to stay the course, right? And like it says right here, selling when the market is down means you might miss the recovery. Now, some people do have stop losses and they'll just take profit because they want to have some green before their account go into the negative. But again, if you sell when the market is down, you might miss the recovery. Now, some people will sell and can still take advantage of the bottom because the market just keep falling. It'll bounce, but then fall again. Okay. So the first tip is don't react impulsively. I talked about this. It can feel stressful. Let's be real here. When I put a video out saying that our accounts year to date was down 60,000, well, let me tell you something. It's down more than that because by the time you're seeing this, the market fell again. Yeah, we may have a green day here and there, but when we have red days, it just be a red day. But again, one of the things I do is I will unplug from the app, right? There's no point in me just watching the app consistently. Buy it and I will log off and I will go and enjoy my life. The second tip is, to ask yourself, do you have to, when do you need to access your money? Because that can be helpful too. Um, Now if I'm talking about just the retirement accounts, I'm 40 years old. Realistically, I cannot touch a 401k until I'm, let's just say 60. Yeah, it's 59 and a half, but let's just say 60. I have 20 long years until 60 years old. So that's plenty of time for the markets to come back. I love that they had this as a tip. Like as we get closer to our retirement age, we're going to go into our portfolio, especially when there's a bull market, and change our positions into more conservative, like low volatility positions, because as we near retirement and even with early retirement, we don't want to be in a lot of risky things because when the market does fall, they take a big beating. So I love how they talk about, asking when you need to access your assets. Because if you have 5 years left, you may have to think a little bit more about when you're going to access your money. Do you want to rebalance, which I think is another one of their tips, and we'll get to that. But tip number 3 is diversify your portfolio. So again, I just made a video talking about getting into some international. We bought VXUX, which is also the pick that you all voted on in our investing challenge. So make sure you scroll back in my community post. The polls are all up there. But I also love having like good dividend based companies as well, because let me tell y'all, getting that dividend pay and getting that alert, it makes the pain easier. It makes it, you can tolerate the redness in the markets when you get that passive income, but you want to get it in quality stocks and funds, okay? Number 4, and they have some like tips here, right? A tip: look for ways to increase your portfolio's diversification. So maybe you don't want to just be in just the S&P 500. Maybe you want to add, like I said, a dividend growth ETF. Maybe you want to add emerging markets. Maybe you want to get into some bonds. Maybe you want to get into international. You have several options. Tip 4 is to keep investing regularly. Dollar cost averaging. That means every time you get a paycheck, invest. Simply put, every time you get a paycheck, invest. And when you're done investing, close the app. Close the laptop, close the computer, and go and take a walk. Enjoy your children, enjoy your family, cook a good meal, binge watch a show. Like do some fun things that is not associated with the stock market, because it truly is like watching paint dry. I'm speaking from experience. It does nothing just staring at it, and for me, it messes up my mental space. So, yeah, invest regularly every time you get paid, and that's it. Also, a lot of people like looking for good opportunities, good deals, um, when the market is down. So when the market is down, like you have defensive stocks like consumer staples, healthcare, and things like that, that can offer you some great opportunities. So maybe you're all into tech, right? Maybe you've been all into energy, but having downturns may give you some opportunity to get, into some other sectors that are really good, like Johnson and Johnson, Coca-Cola. Not financial advice, but when recessions happen, people still need healthcare. People are going to buy their Coca-Cola. I mean, it could be the apocalypse. I know people who are obsessed with Coca-Cola products. They will get their Diet Coke. They will get their Dr. Pepper. It doesn't matter. They're going to get it, right? And so that's one reason why I love looking for opportunities to build up our positions when they are down, okay? Number 6, I just talked about this, rebalancing your portfolio, right? I have started rebalancing ours. I will share that more with our dividend group. So make sure y'all stay tuned for the links, those who are a part of the dividend group. And that's an incentive to join, because I don't share everything on the public channel. But with the dividend group, it's private and it allow all of us to really talk about the direction we're headed in, what we're thinking of doing with our portfolio. Because not only do I not see the market having high gains this year in 2025, that I would love to be proven wrong again, but I just don't see it. But I'm also thinking about the long-term impacts of everything we have going on globally right now, especially in the global economy. So, rebalancing your portfolio, that's something that is always a plus. Traditionally, we rebalance our portfolio in July and in December. Most people do theirs in December, especially for like tax loss harvesting reasons. But I'm looking at ours every quarter now. Just going in, looking, make sure our allocations are good. That's why I have the spreadsheets. That's why I love spreadsheets because I have all the calculations there. And then number 7, keep things in perspective. Keep things in perspective, okay? Breathe. Understand that this is not the first downturn. If you were all there in 2008, if you were all there when the pandemic first happened in March of 2020, now you talk about, like, I was actually scared. I'm being real with y'all. I was scared because you had a pandemic on our hands. The world came to a halt. The market dropped like crazy within a short amount of time. But everybody who stayed focused and continued to invest made so much money in their retirement accounts. I know we did. I know we did. We've been investing going on 11 years this year, but our portfolio bounced back so much post like the pandemic, and it was crazy. So again, keep it in perspective. We have downturns. This is not going to be the last one. There are going to be more in the future, several more in the future. As long as the stock market exists, we're going to have more. But long term, markets always go up. And like I said, if you research your assets, you believe in your assets, and you dollar cost average, and you take advantage of rebalancing your portfolio and looking for opportunities and investing regularly and diversifying and looking at when you need to access your money and just not being impulsive. I'm telling you guys, I've been there. It works. And I'm hoping that you guys are staying motivated. I'm hoping my channel is motivating you to continue the course. And that's why I make these videos, to encourage you guys, right? Even when the markets are not doing well, I'm still making videos. I was making them during the pandemic. I was making them during the bull run. I'm making them now when it's ugly. Like I said at the beginning of my video, we are all going to sit in the mud together and we're going to wait until, the markets come back. So again, guys, let me know which one of these tips resonated with you the most. And if you're staying motivated. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll have the direct link to this article down below so that you can go and check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Smash notification bell so that you don't miss an upload every time I post a video. And until next time, y'all already know, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.